Yeah, good evening, students. I welcome you for this online discussion. So, we'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes. So, once people join, we'll start. Yeah, good evening to everyone present here. From the Department of CTech in association with the IEEE Computer Society. So, I welcome you all for this online discussion with our SRM alumni. And he is my student, Mr. Akshay Anil, working as software engineering at Cognamo. So, he'll be discussing with us about the smart tips for technical interview, mainly for data structures and algorithms. I hand over this rest of the session to Akshay. Welcome you, Akshay.
First of all, I want to start by saying that I can relate to every one of you here, as I'm also a proud alumnus of the same college, SRM. My journeys began right here, as you have started yours. And let us start with my graduation. So, after the graduation, I started my career at Brilio. Then, I'm currently working at Cognum as SD. It's basically a healthcare product company. In parallel, I also run a YouTube channel where I teach researchers and problem solving just to maintain the consistency of like-minded people. And what else? Apart from tech, I also go to gym. I love to play guitar. And yes, I'm also a digital ambassador at GFG now. Yeah, that's all about me. Any one of you can start with your introduction maybe, or we can just start with the questions if you may have on any DSA. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So how should we proceed on? Is there any specific question for students? Should I take on first?
Well, we have that is yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening. Actually, I want to ask I'm like a second year student, second year first sem.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clarify how much weightage is DSA in our placement. Like whether DSA is more important than web dev or app dev or DSA is more important than others.
Okay. So first of all, Dhruv, you're asking the question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Dhruv. So first of all, yeah, we should not compare which is important, DSA and development. I will say both are equally important. It's just that the difference is in the time when you started, right? Like when you're in college, as you say, you're in second year, then you must have covered the basics of your DSA, right? So, in
Yeah.
totality, maybe you can sum up in 4 to 5 steps. I'll just explain it to you. First, you need to cover the basics of the DSA. So, basics means you need to get a thorough understanding that what is actually a data structure. Like there's a stack, there's a queue, right? LIFO and FIFO. So you need to understand all that. Then you go ahead with the DP, recursion, tabulation. So that's your first step when you are covering the basics. You don't need to solve the questions as the first step. You just have to understand what is the structure, how it works, and what are the syntax based on which any language you are comfortable with, either C++ or Java, right? Then your second step goes ahead with solving the questions. Now you have to actually solve the questions on each and every topic. So, and there are multiple online resources, right? Even we have this thing, a portal in college as well. I cannot recall the name. Or you can take up any SD sheet. Preferably, I would say go for GFG, right? And you will have around 350 to 400 questions, and those are like very standard questions, like very standard questions. If you are in luck, then maybe in the interview you can get the same question, right? Once you are done with these questions, now there are two cases that while you were preparing and you solve those questions, and then ahead, like in a day or two or in a month itself, you got an interview, right? And you cracked it. That's a very ideal case, right? That you have just the required things, just the 400 questions, and you're able to crack it. But in most of the cases, not considering the ideal one, the worst case, that there is some time, there is a time gap between your preparation and then your placement call, right? Here you need to do two steps, right? First is that you need to keep revising your those particular bunch of questions, which include several algorithms as well. So you have to do that on a daily basis, right? Once you are done with DSA and now you are practicing DSA, right? Either you can take up a PUTD challenge, right? Now here it's a roadmap. What do you want? Do you want to, after completing the standard questions, do you want to pursue competitive programming or just the DSA? Because as per my opinion, to get a good placement, DSA is enough. You do not need to go for CP. But again, it's your choice. If you like very passionate about it, then you can go for four courses and everything. There are a bunch of things. But considering the placement again, you need to do this step that either you take a POTD challenge, that is the problem of the day, or you do a lead code contest, right? And there are like 5 questions. You can go up to 2 to 3 questions, and that is it. You'll be having the things. 1 second. Yep. So we have discussed how many steps? 3 steps. Once you are done with DSA and you are regularly revising your things, now you have to start development, right? It is as equal importance as doing DSA, correct? So never be in dilemma that which is more important, which has more weightage. Both are very necessary. It's just the time when you start it. Covering the DSA part, now you have to start with the development, either it be web development or Android or whatever you like, right? Okay, so that was the step. Anything? I hope that clarifies. Anything more?
No, thank you.
Yeah. Additionally, one point I like to add, with all these things, there would be 4 more subjects that would be taught in the university. That is DBMS, object-oriented, operating systems, and computer networks. These 4 and 1 DSA would be asked in the placement. Like there is no going around it. You have to do it. The web development part, if you are a fresher, maybe if you're in luck, you will get the placement. But yes, these 5 things are the requirements. You must be at the apex in your journey. Okay. Any more? Anybody else?
Am I audible? Hello.
Yep.
Hello, sir. My name is Anil. I'm a second year student.
Mhm.
So you talked about competitive programming, and I'm not. I'm a little bit. I have a little bit tendency towards competitive programming. Not that I am into it, but I want to get into it. So could you provide a kind of a roadmap to how I should start and what I should do to enter into this side?
So you are like more leaning towards the CP, right? So before
Yes.
giving a roadmap to you, like are you done with the first 2 steps, the basic and any sheet or any questions with the DSA? Are you done with that?
I have recently started with HackerRank and Lead Code questions. That's all that I've done.
So how many questions on lead code?
Around on Lead Code, I have done 25 to 20, 30, yeah, 25 to 30 of medium, yeah.
Okay, so again, I'll repeat it to you again, Anahad. Like this is the journey where we want to do much of the things, but we need to go step by step. Otherwise, it would be a sort of melting pressure as well, that you want to do everything, but you cannot proceed ahead, right? So first, I would recommend you that be familiar with the basic syntaxes, and then do the 300 to 350 to 400 is a standard question you can get in any SD sheet, right? Once you are done with that, then you're free to go with CP. Now, regarding the roadmap of CP, I think you're not talking with the right person. I will be guiding you more in the DSA. But according to me, if you're done with these 2 steps, then CP you can take the best available platform here. I think is Codeforces, and you can go ahead with that. But again, keep on revising the DSA concepts, because if you remember a certain algorithm, let's say a cadence algorithm, if you're not aware of it, that how that actually works, and if something come finding the largest sum contiguous subarray, where you have to find the contiguous or the subarray, right, considering all the possibilities, then you will start कि अरे इसको कैसे करें, like how would you think? So these algorithms are must to keep in mind so that you can proceed with the question whenever it throws up to you, right? I hope that clears it out.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more of you, or is it clear in just two questions?
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Sriram.
sir. My name is Sriram. I'm also from second year. So, often is data structure and algorithms is used in real time projects? Like when we are going to work for a company, how often we are going to use data structure in our own projects?
Okay, that's a good question. So, when I said that once you are done with DSA, you need to start your development, did you realize why I said that? I said it because when you are in developing things, right, you would be using the structure, right? You would be using the structure. You need to think as a problem solver. And that is when your prerequisites as DSA is required. When you join a company, nobody will tell you to code the BFS or DFS. Nobody is interested. In the interview, they just want to see that have you done your homework? Do you know how a problem is solved? Once they have evaluated you on this criteria, now they think that okay, if I hire this student, he knows, he at least knows how to work and he have solved a bunch of problems in past. So if I give him a web development problem or a new technology, he'll be able to grasp, right? So that's the main thing they check, your grasping power. And again, back to your question that if DSA is required in developing things, it is required, right? It is a prerequisite, but nobody will ask you that please code this particular problem in DSA. This would be only asked in the interview, right? I hope that clarifies it.
Okay, sir. Yeah, okay, sir.
Thank you, Shira. Okay, anything else? I hope we all are clear with the steps because I knew there was this session going to happen, so I tried to summarize my thoughts with the 5 steps I have given you. I hope that's clear. At least type a
Yes,
yes
sir.
or something. Yeah. Thank you, Shreya.
Sir, one last question. Hello, sir.
Yeah, Vedant.
Uh,
Hi, Vedant.
yeah, sir, this is kind of not what we are supposed to do now. This is kind of you would have also been to the same phase when you were doing your BTech. I just wanted to ask you, some of us, like all of course, want to code, but we are like slowly entering this phase where we are trying different things. So I just wanted to ask. So basically, for giving my example, I have not gained certain proficiency in any of the languages. Okay, I have started every language, and I am kind of in middle of all languages, like 3 to 4 basic languages. So my question is, and I'm not able to decide what should I like, what should I do next. So like, my question is to you: have you gone through the same phase, and how you overcome that phase? And also, is second year, like, am I too much behind for a second year computer science BTech student that I am not able to decide still that how should I approach? Like, that is my basic.
Okay, very general question, Vedant. Yeah, I have faced that problem as well. But before answering it, I want to know from you that which was the first language you started and what was the reason? Like you started it at your will or it was taught in the college?
Okay, so first language was C, basic C language,
Okay, so
uh,
that was mandatory from
which
college.
I, yeah, in my junior college, like 11, 12 school.
Okay, okay. So, and what was the second language? You said there were 4 languages
Second
you were
language
learning.
was, yeah, second language was C++.
And why did you start with C++?
Like,
Like
that was also kind of in our college course.
curriculum. Okay, and
Yeah.
for rest of the 2 languages, is it the same? in the curriculum, or it's your choice?
No, they were also in curriculum, but later I explored them because I wanted to do them, but I kind of got stuck in the middle.
Okay, Vedant. So, okay, I got your problem now. So, one thing you need to realize that once you are starting to code a DSA problem, right, you need not to be proficient in many languages, right? If you have learned four languages, well and good, you know the syntax is well and good, but don't you think it would be a more time consuming process knowing all the syntaxes, knowing all the ins and outs for each and every language so that you can code the DSA, right? It's not mandatory. So I would recommend go with any language, and in any language I will preferably say to you C++ or Java. And if you are thinking to going towards CP, if you are thinking, then in C++ or Java, just neglect Java, go with C++. But if you are not thinking and you are still new to both of them, then Java would help you in development as well. Once you have learned Java, you would be a bit more, not very, bit more comfortable for you in learning Spring Boot and Spring, right? While in C++ it would be not, right? So again, it's the choice you will make, right? So consider all the factors that in placement you do not require CP. If you want to do, you do it, no problem, but it is not required, right? Considering that, you are asking that how I overcome this. So my first language was C, definitely, that was in that curriculum. Then it was C++ again in curriculum, right? But I was facing many problems in C++ with pointers. I don't know if you have faced it or not, but that's I think a very common problem. So I started looking for resources where this pointer is not there, right? And I got to know about Java, and then I started my journey in Java. So I know C++, I know C as well, but there are some tricks and tips. If you spend a time with a particular language, you will know that, right? So that's why I started learning different language, and Java was part of curriculum again as well. And I like that language because many things were simpler. You may argue that you have to write a lot in Java, but again, I say if you know all the ins and outs, that long language will be much simpler to you, right? So I would say go with the needs, always do the pros and cons according to the situation, what you want to do. If it's DSA, just go with C++ or Java, decide what you want. If it's just CP, close your eyes, go with C++, and yes, that's it. I think that solves, I think that clears it out, right?
Yes, sir. Just another question in continuation of this question.
Yeah.
Like the mentioned, you just mentioned trying different problems which are available on various websites nowadays. My question is, sometimes I get confused. So as I mentioned, I am stuck in these languages. So what should be my approach? I should first try to learn some concepts deeply, and then like at a what do you say, somewhat pace should try solving questions, or I should first enter into questions and then side by side
No,
learn
no,
the
no,
concepts.
no, no, no. Don't do that. Again, you will be like trying multiple things at one time. First, as I said, first step was to learn the basics, but before I was assuming that you would have learned a language. So again, the first step is not changed. You need to learn a language, right? Either be it C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, anything you want, right? First, get to know all the things, the ternary, for loop, while loop, and oops, whatever the things are there, right? You need to get familiar with the syntax. That if in the code requirement, if you have read a hint, let's say, and the hint is saying you need to write a for loop under, I need to make a hash map, then it should not be the case that you're googling again that, oh, that how we made a hash map in whatever language you code, right? It should not be the case. So again, write whatever the language you are learning, be comfortable with it, then start with the basics of DSA and then the standard questions. So spend some time, right? I hope that clears it.
Yeah, sir. Sorry, but again, sorry. You mentioned for loop and also just to clear, that is very basic. I was asking of a little bit deeper concept. So that was I'm asking. So like if uh, my like basics are clear in certain language, like for example what you mentioned, then should I try the sums or again deeper, more deeper, like almost complete the entire language and then start coding? That was my question.
Okay,
Like
so
For example, in C++, you have object oriented, and in deep, then like that.
That's what I was
So-
asking you, that what are you referring to the deep concept. So again, that deep concept you are referring is another subject, that is OOPS, right? That is not required if you are coding this DSA question. That is another topic, right? So once you are done with the
Okay.
basics in the sense ternary, for loop, while loop, and not the OOPS one, that is a different topic, right? When you learn OOPS, then whatever language you're comfortable with, go with that. That clears it, right?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Vedant. Okay, so any more questions? Any more problems? If that's not the case, maybe we'll wait for 1 more minute. If that's not the case, we'll go ahead with one mock interview, right? Where I will tell you that what, according to my experience, what an interviewer wants from you. So, any more questions before that? Any more questions? CP, DSA, languages, development, which one is important? We have a chat, right? If you can't, if you're not willing to interact, you can type in the message. Priya ma'am, are you there?
Yes, Akshay, you can proceed with the mock interview.
Okay, so which one of you is willing to move forward? So I'm not testing you. It would just be a scenario where I'll ask you the question. You don't have to answer it, right? It's just a mock, right? So any of you may come forward. Okay, so let me catch one of you guys now if you're not coming forward. Where can I see the list?
Sir, I could try, but I'm actually, as I said, I'm a beginner, so
Yeah, I said I'm not expecting any answers. It's just to what you say, show that how the panel looks like, how the feeling is there, right? Okay, so
okay, sir.
Anhad, okay, thank you for coming forward. Okay, so from now on, we will be talking that you are the candidate coming from the interview, and I will be your interviewer. And
Okay, sir.
and at last, we will have some feedbacks. Okay, so welcome, Anhad. Can you like introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Ranhad Nigam. I am a second year student studying in gaming technology from CSE PTech.
Okay, that's nice, Anhad. Okay, so let us proceed ahead with the quick DSA round, right?
Okay.
And there will be 2 questions that will be covering in this round, and it will go for 15 to 20 minutes. You will have your time
Okay.
to solve the question. So just relax, listen to it, and solve it. You do not have to code. You just have to express your thoughts. That how do you think? How many approaches it's possible for them, right? Okay.
Okay.
So let us proceed with a very simple and intuitive one. Uh, so you know about the tree data structure, right?
Yes, I am aware of it. Yeah.
Okay. So there are some traversals in it.
Yes.
So can you name them?
There is breadth first traversing and depth traversing.
Okay. And there is in order, pre-order, post-order as well.
Yes, yes, there are those as well.
Are you aware any one of them that what is to be done? Let's say in order.
Uh, Recently we did breadth first traversing, where we go from the left side to the right side, or level wise we complete one level, then we move on to the second level of the tree. So that is breadth first. Depth is going up or down. As you said, post order, pre order, and in order. So in I might confuse the terms, but in post order, we start from the left side or left subtree, go to the root, and then to the right subtree. Next, in pre-order, what we do is go from the right subtree, go to the root, and then the left subtree. And yes, that's I can be sure about those four.
Okay, so how many data structures are you familiar with? Can you name them?
Arrays, linked lists, linked list and its some of its type like double linked list, all those circular linked list. Then queues, trees, stacks.
Okay. And what about hash map?
Yes, hash map as well, but I am not confident about that data structure as of now.
Okay, so which data structure you are confident about?
I'd go with arrays. Arrays are linked lists.
Arrays and linked lists. Okay. So let's
Yeah.
get ahead with the array. So
Okay.
there is one question in array of finding the majority element, right? Like you have a bunch of elements to you, and you need to find whichever has the maximum frequency. Maximum frequency in the sense the frequency should be greater than n by 2, right?
Okay.
You need to return the element whose frequency is greater than n by 2. So let me give you a test case. So you have a pen and copy, right?
Okay. Yes. Just a second.
Just relax.
Yeah.
I'm just considering the points. Okay. So you have an element here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And then you have
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay.
Then you have 2 more 5s in it.
Could you repeat the elements once again?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And 5 times 5.
Okay.
So what is the frequency of 5 here?
Frequency of 5 would be 5 divided by 2.
No. The total, frequency of 5 is here 5 because it is occurring 5 times, right?
Yes.
What is the total number of elements here?
The total would be 3 plus 2 plus 5. That's 10.
Is it 10 or 9?
Just to be sure, you said 1, 2 times 2.
No.
Oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 times 5.
No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times 5.
Okay, so there might be 9. Yes, okay.
And
correction on my part.
So n by 2 here you can clearly see here is 4.
Yes.
Right? And you have your element as 5 whose frequency is 5 which is greater than n by 2. You need to return this element. So how would you solve this question?
Okay. I could traverse through an array multiple times, counting the number of elements. So let's say I pick 1 as the first element. I traverse the whole array and count the number of 1s that I encounter. Then go for 2, then go for 3, 4, and then 5. That would be a long method, but this would be the easiest way to go through the array and find the most frequency element with the most frequency.
Yes. So what is the time complexity you are suggesting for your approach?
I'm sorry, I'm not good with calculating the time complexity, but this would be the worst case if I'm not wrong.
Okay. So,
worst case scenario, because I have to go over the whole array multiple times, and as 5 is the last element that we check for, and the answer to the array. So yes, that would be the worst case for solving this problem.
Okay. So you cannot comment on the time complexity. Okay. Oh, that's
yes,
not a problem.
That bit, yeah.
That is okay. That's not a problem. Okay. Okay, great, Anil. So we are done now.
Okay, thank you.
So first of all, to all the students here, so since you are in the second year, so I think that's the reason I could not ask question, right? So some feedbacks. I will give you some feedbacks, and then from the starting that how should you work on it, right? Your intro and all was okay. You can add some more things on that, right? Like you specifically mentioned the gaming technology, right? You could have added one more that what exactly in a one-liner. Like in an interview, he or
Okay.
she may ask you that what exactly. If this fascinates him or her, then definitely he will ask you more. And if you get stuck there, it
Okay.
would be a bad impression, right?
Oh, okay.
Then when we started with the data structures, so you may have observed that I was asking questions in the direction you were leading me to. I was not
Yes.
jumping to the graphs. First, I said, what are the data structures you know? Then you say, okay, you know this and
Yes.
that. And then in the next level, I tried asking you a next step ahead in that same question, right? So remember,
Yes.
you will be leading your interview, right? He will come with set
Okay.
of questions, but he will judge you that whatever you are saying, if you are
Yes.
confident on that or not, right? Once you
Yes.
said
Yes.
that you are comfortable with that, so I took a very standard question. It was a very standard question, right? But yes, as many of you are beginners, right? This was a Moose voting standard algorithm. Again, if you have like completed the second step that I was saying of standard questions, and if in luck, you will get a question or you will get a variation of it, right? But everything comes in a circle. You get the same question or the variation of it. So when you suggested your first approach, right? When you are suggesting your approaches, you need to tell the time complexity. If you're not telling it, like you are the one who suggested me that approach, right? And you are not telling me that how much time it will take to solve, then that is the worst expression you will have, right? And you're getting it, Anhad, right? Audible?
Yes,
My
sir.
mic was off actually.
Yeah, so I thought some problem was on my side. So you understood,
Hmm.
right? You will be leading your interview and be confident on what you speak, right? If you're not confident,
Yes.
you just say, I have not revised that concept, I will look into it. Maybe you give him any specific reason, but if you have started something,
Okay.
then do not lag there. You need to tell all the things. If you'd have told me the time
Okay.
complexity, then I would have asked you to optimize it, right?
Yes.
If you'd have told me another approach, I would have optimized it again if there is a possible approach for that, right? And you need to tell the time complexity for all
Okay.
those things. But once you are suggesting an approach and not telling the time complexity, it's a very bad thing, right? You can consider this a very bad
Okay.
thing. Yeah, that
Okay.
was the main problem or some part of the feedbacks in your interview. So yeah, but again, since you're in second year, I can understand. I was also having not this much of knowledge in second year. I also started my journey then and there, so that's not a problem. So, okay, so one more thing I'd like to
Thank you.
point out. Yeah, Anand. So that's done for you. Thank you. So the actual thing, again, I said right. The thing which we want to test you is that till what extreme you can think, right? So there is one, again, I'll give you an example with a very standard question. If you have read the tree, there is a topic in order, right? Where you visit the left part, then the root and the right part of the tree. Now that if you are like aware of it, then you'd have definitely give me the brute force technique that in the recursive traversal, just go in the left part, right at the root and the right? But then again, I would, since you have given me the recursive approach, that's a very simple one, right? I would have again asked you to optimize it, not optimize it. I would have said you to, can you do this in iterative order? Now, does this make sense to you? Like, मैंने कर तो दिया recursive में, why are you asking with iterative? He just wants to check. If you know these things, and if you are not aware of these things, then he wants to check, okay, you know the what is iteration, right? So can you think now to solve this thing in iterative order, right? That is the reason I said go through those standard bunch of questions. Once you are done with that also, he will ask you to, can you now optimize the space? Because it is taking over fan as time and over fan as space. You need to optimize the space now. That is, do you know of fan? Do you know of one? So there is one concept of Morris traversal. Now this is an advanced DSA topic. You need to read about it, then only you'll be able to solve this interview, right? So you are getting the point, right? He will just ask you to optimize it, and optimize it. Till there is no optimization left, or till then he's satisfied कि okay, like he has done more than enough, so let's just move on to the next question. And you will be leading your interview, so do not forget that whatever you wrote in your resume should be true, right? You, because you have written it, and if you say that, oh no, I do not remember, then it will not work. In the concepts, you may say sometimes that that part of mine is not like a bit, uh, I'm not more confident on it. You can say sometimes, right? But don't start with the wrong answers. If you're not aware of it, don't start with the wrong answers, right? That was it. Yeah, that was it. You have anything more to ask or say, all of you?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, this is Sriram again.
Yes, yeah.
So, in the interview round, so what will be the amount of time we can take to spend for a question, like to the answer for a question, if it is a hard or a difficulty question? Like, how much time is it okay to take and think of the answer?
Yeah, very good question. I actually missed that point. Okay. So when you start with a question and you have, let's say, given your brute force technique, right? Because it's very simple. Whatever the question says, you have to do it. That's a brute force, right? And maybe you're not aware of it, that it's a medium category question or a hard category question, but interviewer is aware of it, right? So he will give you some time, right? You may take up to 5 minutes or 6 minutes also, maybe 10 minutes also, but do not be quiet, right? Whatever you are thinking, keep on saying it to the interviewer, like, okay, I was thinking that if we put this particular element in the hash map and get the frequency of it, then again have a custom sort comparator. तो ये सब आपको बोलते रहना, you need to keep saying things, and whenever the interviewer would look it, if he feels like, if he or she feels like that you are going in the right direction, then he will just leave you. You go in the right direction, and once you reach the solution. But if he feels like that you are stuck for 5 to 6 minutes, right? It's a medium question, and you are still again stuck for 10 minutes. Then he or she will give you a hint, because there is a time constraint, half an hour and 45 minutes, so given for the round, right? So he has to ask you the two questions which he has come prepared for. So he will give you a hint, right? And you need to take that hint. If you're not, and if you have, he has given you a hint and if you're still not getting it, then ask him that, like, can you please elaborate this? I am very close to the solution. Like, I may get the optimization technique. So do not be quiet, first of all, and keep on speaking. Whatever the thoughts you have in your mind, just keep on saying it in a good manner so that he or she can also understand. That was it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Sriram.
Yeah, again, a question, sir. So even though when we start to answer, when we say to the, like, when we convey the answer to them step by step, isn't that starting with the, like, if you have that storage, like, I mean, like the memory management, if you have the worst fit, like we say the answer for it, when it may make them to judge me, right? So not answering with the perfect or the accurate solution, or going with the big long solution,
Great. Good.
they might be judge me, right?
So what you need to do is you always have to start with brute force. If you know, like for the inner traversal, you know there is a Morris traversal, that is the best one. There is no optimization beyond that. But still you will start with the brute force, right? This helps interviewer to understand, okay, he's starting from the scratch and it will go till next level, right? If you directly say the third approach, now, first of all, he will think like, if I'm the interviewer, I will think, or you will think also, yes, ये तो like इसको याद था इसने बोल दिया. Then what was the problem solving here, right? So sometimes you have to play it in your advantage. I hope that is making sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya. Anything else, guys?
Yeah. Akshay,
So,
can we have
what-
someone also? Yeah, to have a mock interview. If anyone is interested.
Yes. Anyone is interested? You can go ahead with one.
Vedant, you proceed with your doubt.
Vedant?
Yeah, so the doubt was the question which you asked Anand, that for finding the frequency and return that integer, and he mentioned a certain method. So, is there any better approach? Can you just give us a better approach of that?
No, you're telling me to solve the question here on the call. There's definitely a better approach,
Sorry,
and
sir.
there's definitely a better approach, and the algorithm name is Moore's voting algorithm. So you must go through it. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What else do we have?
Is there anyone who's interested to take up a mock interview?
Yes,
I'll take it. Yeah.
Uh, who is it? I cannot see your name.
Preeti, it's Preeti.
Oh, hi, Preeti.
Hi.
Okay, so let us start with the introduction.
Yeah, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Preeti. I'm in second year BTech. I'm interested in web development and I'm doing web dev with front end React JS and back end I use Node.js. And as far as my DSA is considered, I know the basic concepts and I've just now stepped into DSA. That's all I would like to tell.
Okay, great, Preeti. Nice to hear that. So, mm, so in this round we'll have one or two questions. We'll have half an hour allotted to your interview. So we will start with the first question, and before starting, we'll have some basics question for you. That regarding the DSA, you said you have some basic understanding. So can you tell me what are all the data structures present?
Yeah, so data structure is classified into linear and non-linear. So in linear, we have arrays, linked list, stack, queues, whereas in the non-linear, we have graphs and trees.
Okay, and what about hash map?
Oh, hash map also comes under non-linear. Sorry, I
No,
skipped that.
no problem. So can you tell me what are the types of hash map present?
I'm not aware of types of hash maps actually.
Okay, so can you tell me how a hash map works?
Yeah, of course. So hash map is used basically for in storage part. So if we give like if you give the input data like the numbers and it goes and stored according to the you give the k value and it works accordingly.
Okay, so does it like have a key value pair? Is this you're saying?
Not like a key value pair exactly, but like it has a key and the key value according to that the key value goes and stores. So if you give a function, so that function has in according to that function it goes and stores.
Okay, so are you aware of array?
Array, yeah, I'm
Yeah, what
fine
is
with
the
array.
array?
Works on contiguous memory allocation used for storing data types.
And are you aware of dynamic array?
Yes, I am.
So what is the difference between an static and dynamic array?
In static array, we give we give like how the memory is not constant in dynamic array. It can be allocated based on the computer, and there is no memory wastage. Whereas in static, a lot of memory is wasted. For example, if we give a 100 in an array, and we just typically store 2 and 3 values in array, then a lot of memory is wasted. Whereas in dynamically, it's not.
Can you explain me the point how a memory is wasted in static array and why is it not in dynamic array?
Oh, that's what. Just now, as I gave an example, if I give an array of I declare an array of 100 with the size, then I store the variable as in the array. The variables are typically just the 10 values. Then remaining 90 values gets wasted. Whereas in dynamic memory allocation, I don't waste memory. Whatever is required is allotted.
So basically, we do not need to declare the size in the dynamic array.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us move ahead with graphs. You aware of graphs?
Yes, I am.
So how many types of traversals are there?
BFS and DFS.
Can you differentiate it? What is BFS and DFS and how it is different?
Yeah, breadth first traversal and depth first traversal. In breadth first traversal, we use queues to implement it, whereas in depth first, we use stacks.
Okay. So like if both are doing the same thing, like printing the same traversals, we are using a different structure, but why is it there? Like if both are doing the same task using a different data structure, why there are two traversals? Any specific use case you can tell me? That something will work in BFS, but that particular case will not work in DFS.
Actually, I'm not aware. I'm sorry.
No problem. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so are you aware of sorting?
Yeah, I am.
So what is a stable sort? What is stability in sorting?
I don't know that much of sorting. Just like one or two algorithms of sorting.
Okay, which one are you aware of?
Just a basic sorting we do. Quick sort, much sort. That's it. Not that much.
Okay, okay, that's not a problem. Okay, okay. Hmm. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Thank
That's
you.
it, Preeti. Thank you. So yes, a couple of feedbacks. Your intro was good. You seem confident, but there were some things that you didn't know. So like these were the basics ones, but again, you have just started your journey. So yeah, your overall experience I think was good. You led your interview, and it didn't feel like we are going into a direction where you don't know the things, right? You need to just learn more about DSA, not more all the part of the DSA, because you're familiar with the basics. I can see, but yeah, learn the whole part.
Actually, I have a small question.
Yeah.
Uh, I actually started my first year with development, and I kind of went through it, and I'm not able to allocate time for DSA right now, and I feel like I have to take up more projects on development, and I am currently in a stage like how to tell I am interested in DSA. I won't tell that I'm not interested, but like development keeps me going on. Whereas I am like, okay, let's start DSA tomorrow, and I'm just keep on procrastinating it.
So you're saying that you are now good in development, but DSA part still keeps you lagging. Is that so?
Or I can say that I'm not kind of stable in both. That's what I want to convey. Like, how should I go with?
So are you like giving DSA your daily time and how much?
No, I'm not giving it
Yeah,
currently.
that's the problem, Preeti. So you said you are interested
Oh,
in development and all, but again, it's the matter of the right things and the wrong things, right? Everybody wants to get good at both the things, right? But you need to follow the prerequisite. You need to follow the right path, and that is why roadmap has been given by the teachers, by our instructors. You need to follow them because that's the process. You need to trust it, right? So I heard you said that you are deeply interested in development and you started in the first year itself. Well and good. Do it only if you are giving your daily time to DSA, right? Once you are
okay.
done with your daily 2 hours or 3 hours, make a plan that you'll be covering in 3 months or 4 months based on whatever hours you need to give daily. Complete it, and now you ask me that are you really interested in development, and now can you give extra time to development? Then surely go for it. If that's not the case, complete DSA first and go for the development. Again, I'm saying it's not about which is important, both are important, it's just the time that you have to start. Else at the end you will have a regret that if I have given the time to DSA तो प्लेसमेंट ऐसी ही हो जाती और कंपनी में डेवलपमेंट का काम भी हो जाता. करेक्ट?
Yeah, right.
So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Okay, any more questions, guys?
Sir, Sriram, I have a question.
Yes, yeah.
So our faculty said to practice at least 2 or more questions daily in the lead code or the top programming sites to power up the knowledge of DSA. Is it a good thing to do it after the interview where we get into the company and we are going to learn few other things which you are going to work? Whether I need to keep on tracking about the DSA daily questions in the lead code, or should I just go for the stuff which company needs to be which the company needs from me?
So you're talking about the time when you got placed and should you learn DSA?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's a good question. So first of all, you need to understand some things, right? In India, for the software engineers, if you are in a software developer role, not in data analysis and management, I think DSA, they ask basic DSA there, but specifically you are in software development role and want to make a career in it, then 5 years, 6 years, 7 years is no way. Like uh, you have to have a good grasp of DSA, right? And not the basics or the advanced ones. I'm talking about the recursions. If you know the recursions, you know more than half of the complex DSA. You know, trees, graphs, TP, and all. Again, back to the question: should we do DSA once we are placed, right? So ask yourself that: do you want to retire in the same company in which you are in? You are happy with your life. If that's the case, you do not need to do any further interviews. Just make your career in development. Development is a very good field. Yeah, you can do wonders in there, right? But again, ask yourself what is the need. Do you want to shift again in a better company or the company you wanted, right? So if that's yes, then definitely you have to go to the DSA again. If you are familiar with the basics and the standard questions, you just have to keep practicing 1 or 2 problems per day. For that, there is very great platform. Problem of the day, you can take it up on LeetCode or on the GFG, right? So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, after if I'm placed in a company, after going for the next company, the interview round will be like the same like the when I started with the placements, or will it based on the performance or the experience I get in the before company? Like if I'm a fresher, my placement interview round will be like more bit of coding and stuff. But when I go to the like off-campus interviews after getting into a few companies, my placement interview will be like more sort of the experience which I've gained in the previous company. So there, will they ask more about DSA or will they give more
Yes.
priority to DSA?
Definitely, the expectation will be higher. The more experience you will have, the expectation would be higher. Like when I went for my second interview, I basically went for much more than second interview. So it was the second job, I can say. So it was like 1 year, 3 months in my first company, and since I have spent my 1 year in software development, so they were expecting me to know an additional subject, that is system design, right? So DSA, they would be asking you DSA. So that is why I'm saying they will ask you. But once this is the first round, once you are done with that, they will come to your resume. You will have the discussion of your projects, that whatever have you done in your previous company, right? And there's a very good thing, like the work which you have done, you do not have to show the source code, not the deployment, like as we can do in the college placement, because those are confidential things for the company. So I can okay, let's not do that. Okay, so you can uh, justify the things that you have done in your previous company, and then you will have a system design round, and then your technical interview would be over by one person. In some companies, there are two technical interviews, one taken by a senior developer and then a director round. And once these two interviews got over, the DSA, the resume part, and then your system design part, because that is expected in the college placements. Nobody will expect you system. If you are giving the answer, there is a bonus marks for you, right? But nobody will expect, I guess. In my times, it was not expected, and in this time also, it is not. And yes, the expectation is higher. Yes, I think that answers.
Yeah.
I can see only 3 to 4 bunch of candidates are asking questions, so I assume that all of your questions are the same and you got your answer. Because don't be shy, yeah. Nobody will like ask you in the future. Have you asked questions to that session to Mr. Akshay or not? Right? If you have a question, ask it now. Else, I think you have got the answer from others' question as well. Okay. So it's about time as well, ma'am. You there?
Yeah, Akshay, I'm here. So, any more questions, students? If there is no questions, then we can wind up the session. So, before winding up the session, I just wanted you to give the feedback. The feedback link is posted in the chats. I request everyone who's really benefited out of this talk. So, I myself, I gained out much from Akshay. Even though he was my student, it was really nice to have a session with you, Akshay. So I remember you as a student from my data structure class.
Yes.
Yeah, so he was really a very attentive student who sits at the last bench. But still, I always look at him and teach. Yeah, yeah. So that's really nice to remember and recollect the memories with you, Akshay. So that's really great. And hope students has asked the questions what they had on their mind. And to your point, I'm sorry to say that these people have not done with design and analysis of algorithm. That's the reason they were stuck up when you ask time complexity questions and those topics. So they'll be learning only the next semester. So might be probably we'll meet up the next semester so that DSA with DAA hope that they will know the importance of it much more. Yeah. So thank you, students, even those who have really made the session very interactive. It's only for you that we arranged the meeting and hope it was a very interactive section. So thank you, Akshay, once again for joining and spending your precious time with us. Yeah, thank you. So if there is any open feedback that students, if you wish to give, you can give a feedback. Yeah. So you can give the open feedback if you wish to Akshay so that he also feels yeah good. Anyone can give.
Okay. So I think
I don't have a feedback to give, but I just want to thank Via for. I gave the mock interview, so thank you for the tips. Obviously,
yeah.
I'll definitely work on them. Thank you, Via.
Yeah, you did well. You'll do much better in future.
Same, I wanted to thank you, sir. Before the session, I was worried about the placement interview and those stuffs. What kind of questions will they ask and how to handle it. After the session, I got a clarity how to handle it, those stuff. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shivam. Glad it helped. Okay, so few last statements. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting. It was really an honor, a pleasure to get invited by you here. And yes, I do have flashbacks for the time I sit in your classroom. So, yeah, thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Akshay. Thank you. Thank you, students. Please fill the feedback form. It was shared in the chat box. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you much.
Okay, ma'am. So I think I should drop off now.
Yeah, thank you, Akshay. This is Sunduja here. Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining with us.
Thank you, Sunduja.
It was such a nice session, and it was a different one where we were able to see our students' performance in front of I mean, the next person.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, all of you. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Akshay. Bye.
Yeah, bye.